I can't do it.
Okay.
We'll do it live.
Okay. No.
We'll do it live. F it. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live. Thing sucks.
Here we go. It's a edition of the Daily Puck Drop here on Friday, February 7th here on this glorious day. I don't know if he's going to be on the show today. You got to give me a second to check out. He's having issues again. All right, coming up on the show today, we've got the Mike Holmgren news. We'll get into that. We got obviously the Super Bowl coming up this weekend, pitchers and catchers next week. And, I'll mention it, the Cougars got a new president. Coming up also, we may or may not have Jim Moore. Mike Garafolo is coming up, bottom of the hour. We've got Troy Wins, our handicapper, stopping by in around 20 minutes or so. And 10:50 or so. And then what do we got? 11 o'clock. We got Chris Egan. We'll be jumping on. So I've got to check my text to see if Jim is going to be on or not today. Again, he was having just some issues with his setup. So we'll get to it in just a second. The Daily Puck Drop, again, thank you to all who have sent messages and also apologize for not being on live yesterday. That will be for the next 4 weeks. Will kind of be the issues there on Thursday. Daily Puck Drop, of course. We're broadcasting for the Puck Sports Studios, built by Limback Lumber Contractors. They got free deliveries, everything from whole house packages to homeowner DIY projects. They've got the largest stock of moldings in the Northwest. Old school service. They've been doing it since 1930. Give them a call, 206-782-3487. Again, you can follow all the social media platforms there as well. Twitter and Instagram at Puck Sports, and also Puck_Sports on TikTok, and Puck Sports on Facebook. And, by the way, we did have Ryan Divish this week. And, again, that whole 50-minute interview that we did with Divish, which will be longer form, starting a couple of weeks ago, that's, again, for Puck's Posse members. We do play 20 minutes of it free. And give you 20 minutes or more. I've been told, hey, can you play a little bit more? I'll add a little bit more for you. But the full show, just for members, and again, it's just $5 a month. And you get a deal if you sign up for a year. All right, he tells me he's backstage working. Is your equipment working?
I need you to tell me that, if it is or not.
Just tap the microphone. There you go. There you go. Guys, little known secret about the show every day. Let me just tell you how the show goes. Usually I send him a text on the days he comes. All right, you ready? Good, no problem. We got no issues today. And around 9:58, he jumps on, and then it doesn't work.
Can I explain something to the listener that's
Sure.
probably thinking, God, Jim's old and doesn't get it. Why don't you just dump his ass? Every other station did. Why don't you dump him too? Okay, I get it. Can't handle technology and all of that. But let me just say this to you,
so hold on,
listener who is thinking this.
Hold on, viewer. I want you to understand this right away. It's never Jim's fault.
No, that's not true. Sometimes it is my fault. But what I do every single day, and there are times that it works flawlessly, right? I mean, I know they're few and far between, but there are times when it works flawlessly. Will you vouch for that?
I would say 1 out of 3 visits, yes, it works.
Okay, I hook up this shit the same fucking time, at the same fucking way every single time. Sorry, YouTube. I usually don't use that word.
We had a morning cocktail like you did on Wednesday already?
No, but okay, now let me continue to defend myself before we get into, wherever you got planned today.
Yeah, well, go ahead. Again.
Yeah. Okay, I think this is a good defense. Okay, do you remember when I had a knee replacement back in October of 2022? And
yes.
Who showed up for work the next day after a knee replacement?
You did.
That's correct. Yesterday, I had another surgery. Cleanup of scar tissue in my knee. And, I was down and out last night, down and out this morning. But I thought, you know what? I'm going to tough it out for pucksports.com. And all the listeners and viewers who are out there thinking, God, I wonder what's on Jim's mind today. Are there any people like that out there? Come on, chat room. Come on, help me out.
Hold on, let me. There is no. There's no one there yet.
Just get rid of him, Puck.
Oh, there's Jeff. Would you like some cheese with that wine? Says
Geez,
Jeff.
I've never heard that one before.
I
Jeff.
think that's a. I think that's a.
Yeah.
I always like that.
That's like taking your pants down and lighting a cigarette. Come on.
There's Jim. Yeah, Jim could have went pro. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
All right.
continue. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. So anyway, I'm showing up even though I'm not really in pain. It's not, those painkillers are pretty good.
So,
You ever have hydrocodone before a show?
hydrocodone. No. So the last two shows, one you'd had a morning cocktail on Wednesday, and now you're on hydrocodone on Friday.
Yeah. Yeah.
Somebody doesn't have a problem.
What? It was prescribed by my surgeon.
Somebody doesn't have a problem.
Surgery went well. Does the doctor ever come in after it's over and say, God, you know what? That just
I
didn't
think
work out very well.
I think this is a good point here by Charles. You don't need a knee to talk into a mic. Yeah, that's a good point, Charles.
Oh, thanks, Charles.
That's a really good
Really
point.
appreciate that.
So what? Oh, so are you blaming that you had scar tissue cleaned up yesterday? Why the mic didn't work today?
Well, no. I'm just saying that I should get a little credit for that, that I'm, playing in pain.
Okay.
Toughing it out. I'm that kind of guy, man. I don't like letting people down.
But what happens, okay, but when the other days where it doesn't work 3 minutes before the show?
Well, I don't have any defense then. Yeah. Other than to tell you that I do it the same way every single time. And I don't understand why I can hear you through the headphones, but you can't hear me through the mic.
I don't know. You know what? You're going to have to get somebody down there to help you out. I don't know.
No, I'll start using Kathy's computer.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
You can probably, it sounds good now. You could probably even just turn it down just a tad. If you turn down the microphone even.
No, I want to be heard.
Yeah, I know. Actually, I don't want you to touch anything because when you start touching stuff, then all goes haywire. And then
Hey, fuck you, and
I'm just saying.
Stop it with you. I love you to death because that's total bullshit.
I do. I love you to death.
Yeah, and you're gonna feel bad for ripping me right now because I praised the shit out of you on Substack today.
Oh, what's the Substack account?
What's the count?
What's the account? How do people go there?
Jim Moore, the go-to guy.substack.com.
There you go. You
Yeah.
nailed it.
And I have a new post up.
Huh?
They found a permanent replacement for us. It took them 9 months.
Hey, turn your mic down.
Oh.
It's really loud. I can't control you over here because you.
Okay, how's that? Is that better?
You have it so loud.
Oh, shit.
Oh my God. Well, this is why get on the show a little earlier. We can workshop through these things.
Is that better?
Yeah, that's much better. There you go.
Okay.
Oh
All right.
my God. It's just you're just like Jim Moore's in bed. That's how you sound. He says.
Okay, is that better?
Yes. Yeah. So you broke the news to Seattle. I don't think.
Yeah,
I don't think they've announced it yet to anyone. So.
Well, yeah, you were giving me a hard time about not having many scoops in my career. Now that my career is over, I have one.
Yeah, and what's the scoop? Tell everyone when they go to Jim Moore, go-to-guy-substack.com, what are they going to read?
They're going to read about Mark James, a Florida sports talk show host who's bounced around the East Coast. He's going to come to the West Coast and host the 10-to-1 show, replacing Greg Bell, who's doing his last show today.
Okay, man.
Puckett took him 9 months to replace you and me because we set the bar so high.
Well, I mean, obviously.
It's just like my ex-wife. It took her 20 years to find someone else, to get married to.
I'm sure she likes hearing that. I'm sure she likes hearing.
As a husband, I set the bar pretty high. As a sports talk show host, it's kind of down limbo levels. So Mark James probably isn't all that good, really, but just better than me.
Jim's from Robert. Jim's volume matched to monster trucks at the Tacoma Dome promo. Yeah, come on down to the Tacoma Dome.
Oh God,
Grave digger.
That was one. Since Robert brought it up, I'm sure you'd be interested in this. But that was one of my unprofessional moments in my journalism career. Was covering a monster truck show at the Tacoma Dome.
Why was it?
Because I was hung over when I went to the Tacoma Dome that day, and with all the fumes in the building, I barely made it through the game story before I left, and I felt miserable.
So, okay, yeah, wow. I don't know, for other people that does surprise me that you were hung over at the monster truck rally.
You ever been hungover and then breathed in gas fumes all day?
I have no, I haven't done that.
Yeah.
I have not done that.
It's not good. Not good. Okay, is the volume okay now? Isn't this something we should have been checking out like at 9:45?
Well, I was there. I was ready to. I was there. Yeah.
Yeah, but how many times do you say, I can't get to you early, Jim, because I'm taping?
No, I was. Well, that's tough.
I mean, all these other people are so important that they can tape with you. You like.
I was there. I'm always there at 9:45. I was waiting, and you popped on at 9:57, and then your mic didn't work.
Yeah, but usually you text me back and you go, God, Egan has to tape today. Divish has to tape today.
Well,
Jim can never tape. Jim always has to go live.
You can, if you'd like to tape, you can tape.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so go to my Substack today because I think people like reading about sports radio behind the curtain kind of stuff. And I admit that I'm still bitter and I don't really want this guy to do well. I don't. And I say in there, ask anyone.
How did you get this scoop?
Ask anyone who's been fired. I'll get to your question here in a second.
How'd you get the scoop? I want to know.
Okay, just a second. Ask anyone who's been fired. They don't want their replacement to do well, and they don't want the company to do well. They want the company to go bankrupt, and that's the way I feel about 710 and KJR. I'm sorry, and if it makes me a bad human being, so be it.
Okay, so how'd you get your scoop?
I had my sources.
Yeah. So is it plural sources or I mean, you had multiple sources on this one?
No, I had one really good one. Okay. An inside source.
An inside source that gave you the news.
Yeah.
Okay. What did you dig up on this?
You know him.
Do I know who the new host is? Yes, I have heard of him.
Yeah, but I didn't ask you that.
I don't know him personally. No.
You know who my source was on the story.
I don't know who your source was.
No, you know the source really well.
Don't. I really don't.
Like there's no one else in the world that you know better than this guy.
I really don't know who your source is. Honest to God.
You know what? You come across like you're sincere and genuine, but you're as full of shit as the next guy.
I don't know who your source is. I have zero clue who your source is.
Okay.
Yeah, well, good for you. You finally got a scoop.
Well, do you think I'm right with the news? I kind of went with it, and I thought, God, I'm not 100% sure on this, but I'm not working for anybody but my own Substack. So if I'm wrong, what the hell?
I guess we'll find out if you're right.
Yeah.
And if you're not, then who? And if you're not right, here's the deal: if you're not right, who cares? No one cares anymore.
No one cares.
No one cares anymore if your source is wrong. Everyone just goes, "Oh, okay. I guess you were wrong," and then just move on.
I thought you would say, "Well, Jim's irrelevant now anyway, since he's retired."
Yeah, nobody cares anymore. I mean, that's the sourcing, and that's not even a thing anymore.
Yeah, but I still have some ethics and morals and those kind of words. I still have that.
All right.
So I wouldn't want to go with something that I didn't think was actually happening.
So go read about the new 10-to-1 host that Jim would like to see fail miserably.
That's true.
Jim
Wouldn't
Moore,
you? Wouldn't you, in your heart of hearts, if you're being honest? If you're being honest, you want that guy to be gangbusters?
You want me to be honest, truthfully?
Yeah.
You want me 100% honest? See, here's the deal with you. No, it doesn't matter what I say. You're going to be, I don't believe you. You're just saying that.
Well, maybe not this time, because I'm hoping you drive way down on that low road like I do.
I don't care. I don't care. I don't work there anymore. It's not my call. I really do not care. I mean, I wanted certain people hired. I did too. I thought
Ashley should have gotten the job with Curtis Rogers.
Yeah, I mean, I wanted to. I don't know Curtis as well as you do, and I know Curtis a little bit. I mean, if and Curtis is a nice guy. I mean, I would have liked. I am one for promoting within. I am one for developing young talent. I am one for people that have been there for a long time that should get their opportunities in that business. And so I would have liked to see Ashley get it. I would have liked to see Anders get it. I would have liked to see a combo, and I don't know how you could have gotten creative with it, with Ashley, Anders, Jackson, and Chris. That's what I would have liked to see. Because I think that in this business, in which it's crumbling, by the way, it's crumbling. And it's going to go the way of newspapers, and it's just the way it is. You're not developing young talent anymore. No one's coming out of college anymore going, oh, I can't wait to go work in sports radio, or I want to go work in sports television. It's just, it doesn't happen anymore. Why? Because fewer jobs. There's not, when I got out of college, there's no more of these like small radio stations you can go work at and kind of cut your teeth on, make mistakes, and do everything. That's what I did. And I worked at a small station in Longview, Washington, did everything, and got it. And it was the best decision I ever made. Because I got to cut commercials, edit commercials, do play-by-play, do sales and marketing. I mean, I just did it. I did it all. And but here's the deal. Like that's over now. I mean, that's just, that style of kids coming out of college now. Like there's a guy on our chat. He goes by, I don't know what his real name is. He just goes by Jay. He's a student at Washington State, and he's always in our chat early on saying, oh, "Okay, I'm gonna watch and listen to the first 10 minutes because then I got to go to class." And I'm like, okay, so he's a student at Washington State. He's in the comm business, and he works on the Murrow Channel 8. Which I did, and most people who work there. And I asked him, I said, what are you going to do afterward? He's like, I don't know. Because there's no jobs anymore. Like, you ask Chris Egan now. When Chris Egan goes out on remote to do a story, like he's doing everything himself. All of it. He's his own cameraman now. He's writer, producer. Chris is doing the same stuff now for his television station, like all of these guys and gals are now. Can I say gals? Can you say gals anymore? Or is that inappropriate?
Oh, somebody will be upset about it, but
men and women reporters.
Not me.
Men and women reporters. They're doing what they did out of college working in Medford, Oregon. Okay? Now they're doing it. And it's look at our own radio station. When I got hired at KJR in 2003, right before baseball season started, we had 35 people working there. 35. 4 people on every show. On every show. Like a producer and a board operator, an update person and a host, or 2 hosts. 4 to 5 people on every show. There's like 8 people that work there now. 8 people. I mean, so we don't develop anybody anymore. We don't have they didn't have an internship program. That got, blasted years ago. And they're not the only one. No one does internships anymore, unless you pay. But most people don't want to pay because they're cheap. And so what we don't do, and this is a failure of the industry. It's the failure of radio. It's the failure of TV. Is they've allowed the corporate media, like iHeart and others, to take over and just rip apart the foundation of what a great industry it is. They've sucked it dry. And no one wants to work in it. No one. So when you do get young people that work in it, like the people we mentioned before, reward them. Reward them from staying in it. They're not making millions of dollars, but that's not why they're in it. They're not in it to get rich. They're in it because it's fun, and it's a great job. And in that market, top 12, 10 market, there's very few jobs. And people love doing it. And you could have rewarded people that have been loyal and that are good, by the way. I'm just going to reward someone because they're loyal. Reward them because they're good. Decided not to do that. So it's not my problem.
You're right about all 4 of the people that we're talking about. Ashley, Curtis Rogers, Christopher Kidd, and Anderson Hurst. And the other reason why they'd be good hire, number one, they're really good, and they're up-and-comers, and they're talented. They have a lot more talent than I ever did at their age, and somehow managed to get a job doing this. But they should have been given an opportunity, and they should have been at the top of Rich Moore's list because they're paying their dues there for him. And they also would come on the cheap, let's be honest. I mean, it's their first job as hosting a talk show. They probably would have taken it for next to nothing. When I first got hired by KJR, they paid me $58,000. So, and that's the other thing. I'm wondering, like, what the heck is Mark James getting? I mean, what, did he break the bank to get this guy to come from Florida to the West Coast? Does he know about how much it costs to live in Seattle? Is he going to be like these other people that work at the station for, 40 or 50,000 and, trying to find a studio apartment in Green Lake or whatever? I mean, it's so stupid. Like, it's one thing when you're in your 20s and you have roommates and stuff to make it. But God, there's people that we've worked with that are in their 30s doing that shit. That just isn't, that's not right. If you're in Othello or something and you're making 50,000, fine. But you need to make six figures in Seattle to make a go of it, don't you?
It's a hard,
combined income with you and your wife or whatever. I mean, it's just, it's ridiculous. And yet there's a line around the block for people who want these jobs because there's only, you count 710 and KJR, there's like 12 hosts total or something.
Well, yeah, but you're right. So this is why it's so coveted. If you take like the top 12 markets, right, and you say, all right, most markets have 2 radio stations, but let's just say they have 1. All right, so we're talking 12 stations, okay? Let's just round up and say 20 stations. Each show has probably, 3 shows? Let's say it's 4. Let's say it's 3 shows. So that's 6 hosts. So what's 6 times 20? It's 120 jobs. Just think about that for a second. And so it's a highly competitive business. It's why people don't get out of it. It's why people, that you're not going to get a raise this year. Okay, more please. And then no, but you stay in it. And it rewards people. It should reward people to, the longevity of it. There's just, I also don't think you should just hire based on, hey, listen, talent's got to be talent, right? It's a revenue generating business. And I don't know. I've never heard this guy. I've heard of him. I've never heard him do a show. Maybe he's wonderful. And so you've got to look at that, from side of a business side. But
well, and if anybody's out there thinking
how I really feel, I honestly don't. I'm not going to, I swear to you, I'm not sitting here. And I'm not saying the way that you feel isn't right. I honestly, if you ask me, how do you think, I don't care. I'm not.
Yeah, well, if you choose between, do you want him to be terrible or terrific? I want him to be terrible.
Yeah, I'm not going to sit here and wish any ill will towards anyone that would have taken that job. Anyone. It's not like, I guess I'm a little different scenario than you. I didn't get fired from it. And I'm not saying that to be a dick. I chose to walk away. So it's not like, I get the question a lot. Oh, you must be really angry, bitter. I'm really not. I'm disappointed. I always thought I would work there forever, but I'm not bitter towards the place. I'm not bitter towards the people that hired me.
Look what it's turned out to be for you. Yeah. It's been a blessing in disguise, really, and that typically is what happens when you get fired. And I imagine there's some people that are out there going, God, I can't believe these guys are complaining about a cush job like they have compared to whatever they're doing.
It's a cush job, man. It's an awesome job.
No, it's an awesome job. It's so much fun until it suddenly isn't.
Until it's over. Until they say, hey, excuse me, where are you? Well, I'm driving in Sandy.
Yeah, I know. No, so I fully understand that. I've been so lucky to be a sports writer and a sports talk show host my whole life, mainly because it was so much fun, but also because I don't know what the hell else I would have done.
Yeah.
I really don't. I'm not that gifted in, not even in this, but in so many other areas. I don't know what I would have done.
Are they still painting your house?
Hey, Kath.
No, it's fine. No, it's okay. She's good. No, she's good. No, she's good. She can do it.
Wait,
she's
Puck
in her
said you're
house.
good.
She's in her house. I was just asking, are they still painting?
No, they're finally done with the painting.
Wow, that was the longest paint job ever.
They did a good job.
Okay, good. Nice.
Yeah.
What was the guy's name again?
Giovanni. Yeah.
All I think of is
what's so funny about that?
Because I think of Chobani the yogurt. Didn't say it.
Oh yeah. Well, no. Well, I don't know. Jobani.
I know, but that's CH. But Chobani.
Yeah.
Hey. Well, she's murmuring right now.
Yeah. I just think he did a good job. That's all I said about Giovanni.
You can take your goddamn podcast and go shove it up your ass, you stupid son of a bitch.
That's what she's saying. I love Kathy.
She's not. No, she loves you, Puck. She loves you to death.
Okay. Tell people, before we get to Mike Holmgren, tell people why you left the show early on Wednesday.
You talking about me or Mike Garafolo?
You. Mike wasn't on the show on Wednesday. He's on today
Okay,
because he
did
wasn't
you
on
have any
yesterday.
guesses? Were any guesses correct?
No.
Well, a guy named Wes showed up, and I told him, he called me like at 10 o'clock, and I said, hey, Wes, can you wait till like
Just get to the payoff.
10?
Who's Wes? What was he there?
You just asked me a question, and I'm answering your question. And so I said, Wes, can you wait till 10:35 or 10:40? I'm going to be busy between 10 and 10:30, but I can get to you at 10:35, 10:40. And then 10:35, I mean, you still, I don't know, Rob Staten wasn't ready, or you taped with him, and so I couldn't get out. Anyway, Wes is from Waterworks down in Sun River, and he was checking out our hot tub to make sure it was functioning properly.
Boy, times are rough down there, huh? Huh?
Oh, God, it was nice. I hopped in before my surgery yesterday, and I just kind of lounged around watching the guys painting my house. It was a beautiful thing.
God, what a rough life you have down there. I mean,
And there's probably people out there going, wait a minute.
2,600 square foot house. Guys,
wait a minute.
Giovanni's over there painting the house. And then meanwhile, you're sitting outside with a morning cocktail in your fucking hot tub.
There's probably people out there going, well, wait a minute. Jim just said he made $58,000 at KJR.
Well, Jesus, what were you doing on the side? Good Lord.
I was making money making sports bets.
Yeah, I bet you were. Hey, so Garafolo's going to – you haven't talked to Garafolo since we left the radio. Garafolo's going to come on today because he was not on – well, we didn't do a show yesterday on Thursdays, but
okay,
which will be the case for the next 4 weeks. But
have we talked about sports yet?
No, we haven't talked about sports.
It's a half hour in. It's like the old days when it was just,
I know.
you just shoot the shit from 10 to 10:24, and then coming up next.
Garafolo will be on. You haven't talked to him since radio. He doesn't know, by the way. He doesn't know you're on, so this is great. Holmgren got snubbed again. Oh, by the way, so you're in Bend. Did you try and watch it? I would assume it was blacked out down there too. The NFL, and we're going to ask Mike this. I'm going to see how he's going to answer this one. The decision by the league to black out the NFL Honors Show on the West Coast is about one of the dumbest things I've ever. Why? I got on the phone with an angry YouTube person, YouTube TV, like, what's going on? I watched the whole red carpet thing. I saw Belichick's hot smoke show girlfriend, and then right at 6 o'clock, it just went away. I'm like, what's happening? Why?
She did look great, didn't she?
Why did they black it out on the West Coast? Who blacks anything out in 2025 so we can watch it 3 hours later with social media telling us who won?
So
this isn't 85.
What was it on where you could see it? Was at the NFL Network?
Fox 13, and then I got angry.
So they didn't want to black out their primetime shows then.
Yeah, but did Fox 13? Then I'm thinking, did Fox 13 make this decision? Did that Putz Aaron Levine make a decision? I mean, if there's any more reason to hate Aaron Levine more, just kidding, Aaron. I like you. He doesn't. I like you. If there's, I was like Aaron.
Lukewarm on Aaron personally.
I like Aaron. I was just.
Seems like I'm lukewarm on a lot of people.
Yeah.
Imagine if there's other people who feel lukewarm about me. Maybe.
I think a lot of people feel lukewarm about all of us. I think we're all in a lukewarm industry.
Yes, we are.
Feelings. So.
By the way, I'm brought to you by a Clean Streak at 360-395-5748. I know I was late today. Visit cleanstreak.com. Get your free estimate today. Window washing, pressure washing. Forget the roofs this week. I heard Bud Withers checked in this morning. He said there was 9 inches of snow out in Woodinville. Is it that crazy there?
No, they're not in Seattle. There's none. There's no snow at all.
Oh, okay.
But out there probably, yeah. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean that decision. I could not believe in this day and age it was blacked out. And I'm like, and then I'm on social media and I see everyone's complaining about it. Softy's complaining about it. Ashley's complaining about it. They don't have YouTube TV. They've got Fubo. So and then everyone who had cable, it was all on the West Coast. They blacked it out.
Yeah, but look at who you're looking at. A
Did you not have it
YouTube
blacked out?
TV subscriber.
Oh, okay, good for you. But
So I could have watched it, but I was, surgery ran late yesterday, and I went
but
to
it was
PT,
blacked
and so
out.
I missed it.
It was blacked out. You couldn't watch it until 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
No one on the West Coast could watch it until 9 o'clock. So we didn't get to see Mike Holmgren not get in, and I don't know. I don't know what's going on, other than he must have pissed some people off in the voting committee years ago.
Well,
That's the only thing.
Are we okay? There was someone on Twitter yesterday who gave me a hard time about Seattle media just, wanting Holmgren in the worst way. And they're, talking about his candidacy and how he should be in. There's no question about it. Is it just because we know him? I do like him. I really do. And I really respect him. And it's been great to get to know him, off the field. But I don't really think that that's one of those things where I'm going, no, I'm just supporting his candidacy for the Hall of Fame just because he's a good guy. No, he was a great coach and he was deserving. And when you look at all these other factoids about him and you're going, how is he not in? And now the sad thing is, with the voting process being changed, he's never going to get in now. I mean, you wouldn't bet on Mike Holmgren making it in now.
Not next year, because next year Belichick and that smoke show girlfriend, he's going to be eligible and he's going to get in. God,
isn't there a part of you that would be kind of embarrassed if you were him showing up?
No.
There's got to be a little part.
No, there's not any part as a 72-year-old. If I'm 72.
Okay, think about it, Puck. You're 49. Your future girlfriend is what? Let's see. Belichick, the age difference.
That way. Stop it.
Your future girlfriend is 49 plus 23.
She's 24.
Okay, so she's 24 and he's 73, right? So it's like a 49-year age difference. Your future girlfriend is in somebody's crib right now.
What's her name?
I don't know what her name is. But, poor Kaisa, you're going to dump her for this, this girl who's a toddler right now. I mean, that's basically Belichick at 49. The girl was in the crib.
God, but good for him. Jesus.
Why good for him?
He's 72, divorced, and he's dating a 24-year-old smoke show. I mean, what's wrong with that?
What do they have in common?
Huh?
What do they have in common?
Their love of football.
And do you think he can still get it up at 73?
No, I think he needs medication. Hey, let's go. Joining us from New Orleans. This is the first time he's talked to you since you got shit canned at the radio station.
I don't think he even knows what I look like. He's going to go, damn, Jim, what a silver fox.
When we did radio, that's right. You never really got to see Jim.
And I got to admit, every time I see him on TV, I'm like saying, kind of nudge my wife, and I go, I know that guy. I know that Mike Garafolo.
Look at him. Look how good he looks.
Yeah.
All right, here he is. Ladies and gentlemen, from New Orleans, it's Mike Garafolo, brought to you by Hartley & Hartley Insurance and Zogs on Fox Island. Mike, this is Jim. That's what he looks like. Jim, this is Mike.
A couple of things. One, we did, while you guys were on the three letters that shan't be named, we did at one point, I said, I don't know what Jim looks like. And we looked him up, and I think I referred to him. I said, he looks like he could be a good sitcom neighbor. Like he could be that guy.
Is that a compliment?
I would absolutely cast him for that role, and I still believe that to be the case,
Yeah.
You wouldn't be the grumpy guy. You'd be more of the what was that guy's name? Wilson in Home Improvement, the guy that offered the sage advice. I loved Wilson. Yeah. That's one thing. The other thing, I'm sorry you're looking at my bed. I was just walking through the quarter. It would have been great scenery, but I got to get ready. As soon as I'm done here, I'm jumping in the shower. I'm actually not wearing pants right now. So.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Neither am I. And Jim doesn't wear pants on Fridays.
Pants on Friday.
Okay.
All that aside, it is great to see you and hear you, Jim. And the last 2 minutes of your commentary as I logged on and sat backstage was everything that I miss and I come here for. So
I mean, come on.
Okay, so what do you think the whole NFL world thinks about Belichick and the young girlfriend?
I think a good portion of them think it's creepy.
Yeah. I mean, come on.
Huh?
Now, never mind. I'm not.
I know you're in a position where you could lose your job, and I don't have another job to lose.
I think you guys, listen, he's 72, she's 24, she's an adult, she's made her decision. I'm just saying that when I saw that last night on Twitter, because we couldn't watch it live, thanks to you guys.
What was that all about?
I don't know. Why did the NFL black it out on the West Coast? That doesn't make any sense.
They
for
tape
3
delayed
hours.
it, didn't they?
Yes. Till 9 o'clock. It just I don't make any sense to me.
There's got to be a reason. Now, I will. What I don't understand, because Josh Allen was with Haley Steinfeld, who's an actress who's been in the business for quite some time. Jared Goff, his wife is gorgeous. Kristen Harper is her name. They have experience. She's only 6 months in, but look at the pose and look at the what's the word I'm looking for? The posture.
Yeah.
Like she has it nailed. It's like she was
great.
born for this.
She's been working on this her whole life.
I guess, but usually that's like learned behavior. It's not innate, but she's new to the red carpet scene and she's nailing it.
Oh God, Belichick! Look at him. He just looks. Someone
What
said
is
he
that?
looks.
Is that Gary Payton down the bottom, reacting over and over?
I think Chappelle.
Oh, Chappelle.
Chappelle. Yeah, I mean, he looks like he's one of the. He's working at he's at like an Elks member or something at the dinner. Or
he's on this he's straddling this line, and we'll really see it once we get into football season. Of, you know what? I've worked to enjoy this and wear all my rings at once, and show up with this young lady on my arm. And also, wait, I'm still supposed to be coach guy, and I got to keep it straight laced. He's on that fence. I don't know how he's going to be able to straddle that.
God, it's great.
I think he let her wear one of his Super Bowl rings last night, didn't he?
Which is messed up because she didn't earn that, right? Like that was the part of the night where I was like, that's not no.
Oh,
she hasn't been around long enough.
She earned it.
No,
she
listen. If
there he goes again, Mike.
If she
off on
wife,
those tangents.
If she was the wife holding it down while he was, spending all hours of the night at the facility, she earned the right. She showed up after all those rings were won. I didn't like that part.
When was the New England Patriots' first Super Bowl?
You're going to see how old she was, right?
Yep,
So it was 2001.
Okay.
So she was one.
She was 1 year old when he was jumping up when Vinatieri hit the game winner against the Rams.
What's your greatest memory of the Patriots dynasty? Potty training?
Oh my God! What do you think she ate as a little kid? Like, we fed our kids like chopped up like turkey meatballs from Trader Joe's and avocados. That's what they ate. Maybe that's what she was eating as the Super Bowl was.
Avocados are healthy,
I know. Just what I'm saying.
My kids won't touch avocados, but
my kids love them.
Never mind. Oh, like you're walking. I'm like, Jim's here. I'm letting my guard down.
Don't do it. You need a job.
Stupid.
Keep your job. I know what it's like to get fired. Don't be that guy.
Hey, so how much interaction do you have, or just the Hall of Fame stuff? We out here in Seattle, we're trying to figure out why Mike Holmgren can't get in.
I don't understand it. I'm not going to sit here and I understand why he's your guy and all that stuff, and I look at Tom Coughlin as a guy who should be in. I mean, at 2 Super Bowls. Sustained success. Now the Giants' tenure was all or nothing, which I'd rather have. I'd rather have 2 Super Bowls and not make the playoffs any of the other years, rather than a guy who makes the playoffs every year and he's getting knocked out in the divisional round of conference championship. So I think that is certainly, as a Hall of Fame resume, stacks up. But then you go back to the fact that he built that franchise in Jacksonville. He built that thing from the ground up, and I think there's something to be said for that and the sustained success he had there. I think he should have been. As far as Holmgren goes, I mean, the resume speaks for itself. It's a weird thing when you've got the coach contributor overlapping with the modern era players, and how that's decided and how you can go. I think you should have one every year. I think there are enough great coaches and great contributors every year. How did we go this class without getting somebody in? It should be an automatic once you get to that, let's say, final round. You're in. You're almost just getting rubber stamped at that point.
I heard someone say, and Jim, you'll just nod in agreement on this one. I heard someone say about voting for the Hall of Fame. Can you tell the story of the NFL with or without the person? If you can tell the story of the NFL without them, then they shouldn't get in. And I don't. I mean, that's just one voter's way to look at it.
But that's so hard to, because you're not. I mean, Eric Allen. I grew up watching Eric Allen. I loved Eric Allen. Is he a Hall of Fame caliber player? I have no idea. I'm not. I'm really, honestly, not truly good at that. I mean, I think I don't have a problem with him being in there. But when you start talking about the coaches and contributors, and this is going to kill me, this because he's the greatest guy in the world. But Dick Vermeil getting in ahead of some of these guys that we're talking about is kind of crazy to me. I think multiple championships is a benchmark, and then one title with sustained success and just the numbers that stack up. I think is also another kind of benchmark. At some point, Mike Tomlin, we're going to be having this conversation. If he never wins a Super Bowl ever again, I think he's a Hall of Fame coach. If this continues, and I think he coaches as long as he's going to coach. So it's hard. It's very, very hard. You also got the first ballot versus the second ballot type thing, and I actually was shocked at how many people were shocked that Eli didn't get in last night. To me, Michael Strahan was a better player than Eli Manning, and Michael Strahan didn't get in on the first ballot from the same team, from the same market. It would have been cool to have Eli go in New Orleans, his hometown. That would have been cool. Reggie Wayne as well. That didn't happen. So, but the fact that you're not just pushing that stuff through because of stuff like where the NFL honors is being held, I'm okay with that part of it. But it's a very difficult process, and I think you should have a minimum. I think there should be, like, we had a class of 4. I think it's like we should have a minimum of 5 or 6 or whatever it is, because there's enough players that are backlogged and enough coaches that are backlogged that we got to start getting these guys in.
Well, the other thing, Mike, with Mike Holmgren is I thought Mike Sando made a good point today in The Athletic about if you're going to have tiebreakers, I think Holmgren should get extra credit for taking 2 quarterbacks who hadn't started. I mean, he got Brett Favre there in Green Bay after he left Atlanta, and then he got Matt Hasselbeck in Seattle. And to do it with 2 guys that weren't superstars like Mahomes or Aaron Rodgers, I mean, that's pretty significant.
Well, I think also you're talking about 2 franchises. The success that he had with 2 franchises certainly speaks to it as well, because then it's not like, well, he was just in the right situation, right? He had a great, let's say, general manager or a great structure in the front office, and whatever the case may be, fattened up on a soft division. I'm not speaking to Holmgren specifically. I'm just talking about any coach, and that's why I feel like the case for Tom Coughlin is so strong as well, because you had the success in 2 different franchises. That shows your ability as a coach / franchise builder for some of these guys to be able to replicate that success in 2 areas. And Mike Holmgren certainly did that.
Yeah, I mean, I think to take 2 franchises, I mean, the Packers had done nothing since why am I blanking on his name?
What, Vince Lombardi?
Yeah, thank you. The Lombardi Trophy.
Can you tell the story of the NFL without Vince Lombardi? No, you can't. That's an easy one.
How does he do it on Tuesdays and Thursdays without me, Mike? I don't
know. I really don't know. I ask myself every day. And then what he did, Vince Lombardi, thank you. And then with the Seahawks, I mean Chuck Knox. I mean, I grew up watching them. They were good teams, but I mean, they were moving. I mean, they were a laughing stock. And then he took them and he has made them. I mean, I think without Mike Holmgren, there's no Pete Carroll. There's no relevant franchise that we have, and he certainly made them relevant.
That's a good point. Now, and that's the kind of stuff that when you are talking about Hall of Famers, and you can make the case for the impact beyond what you did, the impact on the sport, the impact on a franchise. I think that's fair conversation to have, certainly, when you're talking about, especially when it comes to a coach, what kind of impact they had beyond what they just did directly.
Hey, can we just have the Super Bowl there every year? Can we just have it in New Orleans? It's just perfect. It's perfect. Perfect.
It's great.
Perfect.
Fine. I love it. It's awesome. It's awesome.
It's perfect.
So is Miami. So is Los Angeles. So is San Francisco. No, we let's
Vegas.
Vegas. Hello.
Well, Vegas would be good, but listen, I mean,
you got me.
Yeah, I got you. I don't know. You got the.
I'm sorry. When I get a call in the middle of these things, it throws everything off. Yeah, sorry.
I mean, it's indoors. It's all ready for a party. You got Bourbon Street. I don't know.
How much is that room you're in on Super Bowl week?
I don't know. We pay the incidentals. It's the NFL Network's block of rooms.
But just take a guess. What is it? $800 a night?
It's a regular Hilton. I don't know. I don't know. My cousins are coming in, and they're staying Saturday night at a Comfort Inn by the airport, and they're paying $650 a night or something like that. I was like,
that's over $1,000. What your room then?
What's that?
It's got to be over $1,000 in your room if a Comfort Inn $600.
Yeah. Well, but I don't know. But see, I don't know how it works, because the NFL will say to the Hilton, you're getting these guys for a whole week. I didn't come until Wednesday, but Ian and a lot of folks, you're getting them for a whole week. So they're probably bumping up what last weekend was from $200 a night to, let's say, $800. So it averages out. So I would say maybe they got it for an average of $600 to $800 a night, but it's cheap in the next couple of days, but it's more expensive. I don't know how this works.
Is the Comfort Inn one of those still the places with the key, like the doors on the outside? Like you have to still use an old school key?
I'm afraid to ask. I did, however, they're coming and staying. I have a 2 a.m. flight out of here after the game. When I sent my note to travel about which flight to book, I said 2 a.m. in parentheses, not a misprint, because my options were 2 a.m. or 6 p.m. And I'm like, well, I'm just staying an extra day just to stay. I'm missing a day at home. So by the time I get home after the game or from the hotel after the game, I'm not, it's time to go to the airport. So fine, boom, just pack up and I'll take it. It'll be basically like a red eye. So I'm just doing that. So I said, you can have this room on Sunday night. So you're paying $600 for the Comfort Inn, but you're getting one comped on Sunday night.
Nice. There you go. It's a hell of a deal. Where do you watch the game? Are you in the press box? Where are you?
No, this year it's a tighter press box from what I was told. So I'm going to be in the green room downstairs, basically watching on TV, which you might say, well, why would you do that if you're at the game? One of the best experiences I had was watching the Patriots comeback in the green room with all of our talent, including at the time Heath Evans, who was an NFL Network employee, who was calling out everything that the Patriots were doing. Oh, Tom, Tom, hot this way. Yeah, he's got it. Okay, good. Yeah. Like he was openly rooting for the Patriots and rooting for Brady. And it was fascinating to watch because he knew the playbook. He knew what they were doing. So to be able to sit amongst those guys sometimes and see some of this stuff called out, especially in a legendary game like that, is a cool experience.
Jim, let's get into gambling, injury.
Come on, Mike. You missed the gambling questions, don't you?
We need a health update
Should
on the
I
players.
take 1.5 or take Mahomes and give it?
Puck's not as good at you'll outright ask me. Puck will sort of like toe the line and try to pretend like he's not asking it, and he is asking it. So, what was your question?
Should I take the 1.5 or give the 1.5 with Mahomes?
The game you're saying with the Chiefs, basically. I know you said Mahomes, but you meant the Chiefs. I do not give out fantasy gambling advice, Jim. Right. What I will do, however, is break down the X's and O's of the game as best I can and tell you that I like the Philadelphia Eagles' chances of winning in this game because just the way that they're just so hard to beat because offensively, when you run the football as well as they do, you're in second and third and manageable all the time. Plus, you have a tush push on 3rd and 4th and 1. So it's basically first, as they like to say, it's 1st and 9 every time we get the football. And they're picking up yardage, and you can't get them behind the sticks very easily. And then they're not turning the football over. They've got 4 turnovers. November 10th, I believe, was the game against the Washington Commanders on a Thursday night, if I have that date correct. It was mid-November. And it started the stretch up until now. They've turned the ball over 4 times. 4 times. So when you're playing as efficiently as they are and you're not giving the ball up, it's so hard to play from ahead against these guys. And when you don't do that, that's when the dam breaks in the second half and Saquon goes for 60. So as good as the Chiefs are and as good as they've been and as much as experience as they have, and I do think in this case, the Eagles' experience of playing 2 years ago against the very same team in a Super Bowl, the 3rd time now for some of these guys like Lane Johnson and Brandon Graham who have been around for a while, the 2nd time for some of the young guys is going to be huge. And I can just sense that confidence amongst them. So I like the Eagles in this game. I do.
I like
God,
this
I always felt that way. Sorry, Puck. I always felt that way with Tom Brady, too, that, I would analyze the other team and go, God, they seem stronger than the Patriots this year. But, I mean, Mahomes is a Brady kind of guy, isn't he? I mean, it's hard. I'm going to either feel like, God, I'm glad I took the Eagles, or like, how in the world did I take the Eagles when Mahomes is on the other side?
Yeah, I mean, if he has the ball with a chance to win the game, we've seen him repeatedly in the postseason just deliver when that happens. And a lot of guys are not able to do that, and they're on the other side, and you go, well, that's the difference in the game. And it very well may be everything I'm saying may lead to the Eagles being ahead by 4 points with a minute and a half to go, but Mahomes has got the ball, and all of a sudden that's the great equalizer. I think we saw that last year in the game against San Francisco. It was like the complete difference was Patrick Mahomes having the football with a chance to end the game, and he ended it.
All right, last thing for you. So who do you think wins?
Eagles. I think the Eagles win the football game. I think the Saquon Barkley completes an absolute dream season. I know in his head, he's hearing everybody say, well, it's his birthday, it's meant to be, all that stuff. Blah, blah. And in his head, he's like, you have to go out and execute. You can't just assume that this is destiny and it's going to happen. But I do think in a lot of ways it is destiny. It is going to happen. They have the momentum and are playing the right way. And I'm going to go Eagles in this one. I don't see a blowout either way. I think this is a close game, but I think the Eagles in the end come away with this. In part because of the experience picked up 2 years ago. There
he is, Mike Garafolo, brought to you by Hartley and Hartley Insurance and Zogs on Fox Island, joining us from his hotel in New Orleans, the Limback Lumber Studios. And he's good to catch up with the great Jim Moore.
Wait, can I sneak in a couple bonus questions?
No,
sure.
We got to go.
Wait, he just said sure. He just said sure.
right.
Thanks, Mike. I appreciate the support there.
Don't worry about the clock.
These are important questions because I'm trying to remember the newspaper. Back in the newspaper days, Mike remembers the newspaper days. Shut the hell up. Remember the newspaper days where you tried to localize things because it was important to the readers?
Yep.
How about, okay, tell us about Kellen Moore taking the Saints job, and then what's going on with Cooper Kupp. Kellen Moore, if you're not mistaken, if you forgot about it, Puck, he's from Prosser High School, which is east of the Cascades. Cooper Kupp from Yakima. So I'm trying to help out the listeners here, okay?
There you go. Cooper Kupp that's going to be a tricky one. I think it's going to take some time. I mean, there's value there. How much are the Rams willing to eat financially if they pick up that entire $7.5 million roster bonus that's due in March? All of a sudden, the next team now owes him $12.5 million. But I know that they'll be looking for a renegotiation as well. So there's just so many factors at play that you wonder if in the end this winds up with Kupp saying, "Well, I'm not going to redo my deal or go on this number or whatever," and then just force the Rams' hand to cut him, right? I think that'll be the pressure that he'll put on their side. But I think the fact that it was put out there early enough ahead of the start of the league year, in the end, my gut is that they wind up trading him somewhere. And there are a couple places that I gather that there is interest. We'll talk about Cooper Kupp coming up Sunday. NFL Network, NFL Game Day Morning is on from 9 a.m. Eastern, 6 a.m. your time, till about an hour and a half before the game.
It's not going to be tape delayed?
It's not going to be tape delayed. It's going to be live from New Orleans. So we'll talk about all these offseason storylines, including Cooper Kupp. As for Kellen Moore, it's the second time in 3 years that the Eagles are going to play the Super Bowl in a destination where one of their coordinators is going to be the head coach and will just stick around. I mean, Jonathan Gannon never left Arizona 2 years ago when he was with the Eagles. We'll see what Kellen Moore winds up doing, but that's going to be done. He's putting his staff together unofficially. Officially, we'll do so next week. I like Kellen a lot. I think he's grown a lot as a coordinator over the last couple of years. I thought when the Eagles hired him, I said, Chargers, but with the help of that coaching staff and the head coach, who does a great job, Nick Sirianni, they were able to mesh the systems. I think that really helped Kellen Moore grow. I think he's ready to go. If I'm ranking the hires from this coaching cycle, I like Pete Carroll, number one. I still think that's the best hire of the coaching cycle so far. But Kellen Moore would be up there for me.
Nice. All right. Hey, you're the best. Thanks for doing it as always, Mike. Thanks for adjusting your schedule yesterday to today. And we'll talk to you next week. Thanks,
all good. Thank you, guys. Enjoy the Super Bowl, Jim. Great seeing you, handsome.
Yeah, good to see you, Mike.
There he is, Mike Garafolo, NFL Network, again brought to you by Hartley & Hartley Insurance, your trusted family-owned insurance experts in the Puget Sound area. Also, Zogs on Fox Island. Check out the Mike Garafolo Show up on YouTube. Subscribe there. Also, check it out on the full show of the Daily Puck Drop on the podcast platforms, your favorite, Apple, Spotify, wherever you find your fabulous podcast. Joining us, Vegas. Are you in Vegas? It looks like you are in Vegas.
No, I'm at the Angels of the Wind.
Oh, Angels of the Winds Casino. Hey, next year, Angel of the Winds Casino, you could be all a part of this one if you'd like. Give you a part of the fabulous Puck Sports Network.
Let's make that happen, Puck.
Let's make it happen. It's our handicapper, Troy, TroyWins.com, with us. I just stumbled upon this little tweet that just came out. Here are the 5 biggest wagers at sports books as of 5 minutes ago. $800,000 on the Eagles money line at plus 110 at BetMGM. $750,000 on the Eagles money line. $320,000 on the Chiefs money line. $300,000 on the Eagles first half line at plus half a point. And then $225,000 on the Eagles money line at 105 at Caesar Sports. How about that? Huh? Chiefs favored by 1 over under 48.5 points here in the game. Troy should be a good Super Bowl, and it seems like the betting money is fairly even on both sides.
Yeah, it's interesting, right? I was even looking. You get some pretty good odds. One of the prop bets I do like is for the game to go to overtime. You're getting 10-1. That's plus 1,000 for the game to go to overtime. I saw a couple of odds out there that you're getting dang near 10-1 for either the Eagles to win by a field goal or the Chiefs to win by a field goal as well. So those are interesting to look at. It really shows you they think this game's going to be close. I think we're in for a heck of a treat on Sunday. Love or hate both teams. I think it's going to be a great football game.
Yeah, I love that overtime bet. I'm a sucker for it. And especially, when a game is a pick 'em or within 1 or 2 points, That tells you the Vegas, thinks it's going to be close. You're right. But at 10-1, you can still get it at 10-1, huh?
You can still get a 10-1 from what I'm seeing up here at Angels of the Wind. So that one I think has a little bit of value to it. $100 gets you at the grand, and I think that has some value to it without a doubt.
By the way, the Angel of the Winds sportsbook is my number one trusted sportsbook in all of the state of Washington. Angel of the Winds. All right, which way are you leaning in this game?
I'm echoing Mike. I really like the Philadelphia Eagles in this game. I don't want to, have, stupid written on my forehead Monday morning for betting against Patrick Mahomes again, right? Because I've had that happen.
Dumb might fit better.
Yeah, I think we both, Jim, we talked about that with Tom Brady. I mean, I don't know why we bet against these guys and think we're outsmarting people, but this Eagle team, to me, they're the better team. In the interior, their offensive line, defensive line, they're the better team. Their defense, to me, is outstanding. And the offense, they haven't even really had to open up the playbook. I mean, they're winning game. They put up 55 points on the Commanders, and they just ran the ball the whole game. They have good receivers. They've got Devontae Smith, A.J. Brown, Dallas Goedert. They've got guys outside if they need to go that route. They just haven't had to do it. I think they will need to throw the ball on Sunday to win. I think, Steve Spagnuolo, 25 straight games without a 100-yard rusher against that Kansas City defense. That's unbelievable. So I fully expect Kansas City to just load up the box and dare Jalen Hurts to beat him. Can he do it? I think he can. I like the Eagles in a close game here.
What's been interesting with all the player props, and my kids are really into that, and I think the younger crowd is generally into that, and it seems like most people are now, and regardless of your age. I saw something this morning where Saquon Barkley, anytime touchdown, the tickets that have been bet on that are more than the game itself, as far as the point spread or the money line. I mean, the props thing has just taken off, and it took off a long time ago in the Super Bowl, but now it's every single game in the regular season and postseason.
Yeah, I think I was just thinking about that yesterday. Like 10 years ago, I don't even think you could bet it. I don't even know what a prop bet was. And now it's like you said, it's taken over. I mean, there's sports books out there now that just offer prop bets. That's it. They don't even offer the side. Saquon Barkley right now, minus 200 anytime touchdown. I think if you're going to go that route to get any value, you need to do 2+ touchdowns. You can get plus 200 for him to score 2 touchdowns. If you really want to get crazy and go 3 touchdowns, that goes up to, I think, plus 1,600. And just last week, he scored 3 touchdowns against the Commanders. I think, obviously, I don't think he's going to go for that many, but there's really not a lot of value at minus 200 anytime touchdown, in my opinion.
Troy Wins here with us, our handicapper. There's some. What other prop bets are you guys looking at, Jim? You probably have a million ones that you're looking at in terms of prop bets. I think what some of the stats that kind of blew me away when I was looking at just all the amount of money. This is legal money that will be bet on Sunday as of now, and right now it's $1.4 billion legally. That's not all counting, right? All the illegal bets.
It's not counting the ones I'm making.
I know.
Yeah, that doesn't
Troy,
count Jim's. Yeah.
$1.4 billion,
Unbelievable.
man. Unbelievable.
It's unbelievable. It really is. And like you said, now with the prop bets coming in, we've just opened the doors for even up here at Angels of the Wind, you got people in line placing bets. You're like, huh? Do you even know what you're doing? I mean, it's just crazy. I mean, you got guys coming off the streets, throwing their last $20 on these long shot props. So we've just opened up the floodgates to everybody. Some of the props I'm looking at, one of the ones I think is a lot of fun is over 2.5 fourth down conversions is one of them. I just think, 2 very aggressive play calling teams. Like you said, the Eagles, even in their own territory, if they've got 4th and 1, they're probably going for it. And on the other side of the ball, Andy Reid, he goes for it quite a bit too. And Patrick Mahomes has been great at converting those. So plus 140 over 2.5 fourth down conversions was intriguing. I thought this was an interesting one. Plus 140, Jake Elliott over 1.5 field goals. I get there's been a lot of scoring in these playoff games, but and not a lot of field goals. But I think I could see Jake Elliott kicking 2 field goals in that game on Sunday.
A lot of these guys I follow on Twitter will say something about the sports books need so-and-so to win or do this because it would be good for them because everybody's betting on the other side. I saw one this week, though, Troy, that I'd never seen before. The sports books need purple or yellow Gatorade instead of blue or orange or green or red to profit from that one. So the Gatorade thing is always a big deal.
That's a weird one to me. I've actually said, I could be wrong, but I was seeing that yellow was minus 175, which is crazy. I don't know where they come up with that. So somebody's got some intel.
Well, that's the original.
Yeah, I'm seeing that's really. I'm not joking. That's not. This is not me being funny. That's gaining steam. People are really putting real money down on that. So I don't know if they have some intel. All it takes is one phone call to the equipment guy, and you could cash that ticket no problem, right?
Well, heads or tails? Which side do you always go? I mean, I always go tails.
I'm going to go tails as well. It will be interesting. I don't know who gets to call it, but let's go tails on that one.
Okay. Heads or tails? Tails never fails. Never
I
fails.
will say my biggest bet of the weekend, I'm going to give it out free, and some people don't like to lay a lot of juice, and I get it. You can get minus 130 odds on this. It's a 7-point teaser, so you're going to get 8.5 points or 8 points with the Eagles, and I'm going to tease it under 55.5. I don't think that game's getting above 55.5 points. So, and I'd feel pretty dang good getting the Eagles at +8 or 8.5. So 7-point teaser, all books are going to offer that anywhere you go. Some are minus 130 or 140. You got to lay a little bit more juice, but in a game that's going to be this tight, adding an extra 7 points on your side and your total, I think you're in pretty good shape.
Hey, going back to Barkley one last time, you mentioned that the Chiefs haven't given up a 100-yard rusher in 25 straight games. The over-under on Barkley, though, is 112.5. So you'd go, well, a trend is your friend. Why would I get in the way of Steve Spagnuolo and what he's doing with that defense? And yet, that's a superstar we're talking about, and that's a pretty low total for him.
Yeah, it's a tough one, right? Because just about every game I've watched with the Eagles, he could get stuff, and then boom, 70, right? Mm-hmm. And so I think, is he going to do that in the Super Bowl? I think that's the million-dollar question. You don't really see him do, 10 carries for 50 yards. It doesn't really happen with Barkley. He seems to bust one every game. Will we see that in the Super Bowl? I think it's the big question mark. If we don't, then he probably goes under that total. But he, throughout the course of the year, I mean, my God, the guy goes over 2,000 yards. You got to think he's going to go over 112 in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, it's going to be crazy. I'm with you on I like that teaser bet you have. The under, I think I know that it's un-American to do the under. We talk about it all the time, but I don't know, 48.5 points with these two defenses, the way that they're playing. And you mentioned the Spagnuolo. I mean, since he's taken over in 19, he's never given up a 100-yard rusher. So maybe that obviously could change coming up on Sunday, but Chiefs have a very good defense as well. They have a game plan to probably try and suffocate Barkley and make Jalen Hurts beat him in the passing game. So, yeah, I think you're looking at a 24-21, 23-20 type game, which certainly hits the under. All right, give me what about MVP?
Well, if you're going to go with the Eagles, you got to go Barkley, and I think you're getting about plus 240 with him at the MVP. Jalen Hurts has not been putting up the MVP type numbers. He might in this game, though. I do think he's going to have to throw the ball to win. Another prop bet, A.J. Brown plus 180 to anytime touchdowns. Interesting. He's been kind of snoozing the last few games, but I think he's going to need to have a big game. But I think if you're going to go Eagles, you probably got to go Barkley. I think that's the obvious play. But Hurts would be right behind him because I do think he's going to have a big game in order for them to win.
Jim, you want to sneak in one more before we cut him loose?
Yeah, I do. You got anything on the national anthem, Troy? I mean, you favor a slow singer over a fast singer?
Hey, Jim, do you know who it is?
I don't know who it is.
I've never heard of the guy. I know it's been coming up on all over the place. You'd have to look that. I've never heard of the guy. I have heard several people, at least in my small research that I've done, they're leaning on the over.
Super Bowl anthem. I don't know who it is. Super Bowl anthem 2025.
You'd know him. It's some new hip guy. He's
some new hip guy.
I know. I should know the name. He's popular, but not my era.
John Baptiste. Yeah. You'll recognize him. He's very good.
Yeah.
Is Kendrick Lamar the halftime show?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay.
Sir. That I knew.
I was listening.
Are you amazed that I knew that?
I was amazed that you knew that. I was listening in the car the other day to Chris Stapleton's national anthem. From 2 years ago? The greatest one ever.
That was fantastic.
No one will ever top Chris Stapleton's national anthem from
totally
a couple
agree.
Years ago.
Totally agree.
Phenomenal. All right, Jim, which way are you leaning?
I'm kind of leaning with Troy on that one and Mike Garafolo. I'm probably going to go with the Eagles.
Okay. All right, Troy. Happy betting to you at the Angel of the Winds Casino. Puck Sports.
We'll have
you're
you
the
up
best.
Here live next year.
Okay, yeah,
Jim,
live next year.
Jim would love it. They've got a brewery inside the sports book. A
really?
full-on 210 Brewing inside the sports book. Heritage Distillery's got a whiskey bar inside the sports book. I mean, the place, I'll tell you what, I don't want to knock the Tulalip if you're still sponsoring, but it actually puts that place to shame.
We're no sponsor. no
No,
sponsor.
Troy, you're set up there with the screens in the background. Nice job.
This is just a small little studio. You've got the massive screens going on right over there.
Yeah, well, Angel of the Winds. Put me in contact with somebody at the Angel of the Winds.
I will do so.
ASAP right now. All right, Troy. Please go to TroyWins.com. Get the latest and everything up there. When they go there, they're going to find what?
Guys, we're doing 7 days free right now. That includes everything. You're going to get our Super Bowl picks, our prop bets. We do golf picks. We do absolutely everything. It's TroyWins.com. Even when the NFL comes to an end, we'll be covering college basketball at a high level, the NBA, hockey, you name it. Fade the Kraken, Jim. You can make a lot of money fading the Kraken right now.
All right, fade the Kraken.
Who's your pick at the Waste Management?
You know what? I've got a live wager on Wyndham Clark. You could get him yesterday. It's still at plus 800 when he was battling for the lead. And then I've got some top 20s. I do need a Hashkia. Is it Bahidi? I need him top 20. I never say that name right, but you know what? He's going to get in the top 20.
All right. Thanks, Troy. Appreciate it. We'll maybe next week we'll figure it out. We'll catch up with you again. But appreciate. Thanks, Troy. Enjoy the Super Bowl.
Thanks, guys. Take care, guys. Enjoy.
See you, Troy.
Troy wins. Somebody keeps saying I don't have Adam Hadwin this week. Ryan Downey. No, I do not. He's 7 birdies in a row. No, Adam Hadwin.
Yeah, I got the wrong Canadian. I got Nick Taylor.
Oh yeah, you went with because he won it last year.
Yep.
The old
and Gary Woodland. I was thinking about the sentimental Gary Woodland.
I'm so mad. I went with. I thought no one else in my league took him. I thought I was going to sneak him in. And he's been playing great golf. There's a local connection with him, Andrew Novak. And he had a pretty good day yesterday, but now he is 1 over.
Well, what's he overall? Like 5 under?
No, he's 1 under. What's the cut line? He's going to miss it.
Yeah, the cut line will probably be around 1 or 2, won't it?
The cut line is exactly at 1.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Is the wind blowing there or something?
I don't know. This golf league is. I'm just down in the dumps. All right, we got to run. You got the Eagles?
Yeah, I was going to take the Eagles.
All right, take the Eagles. Happy betting to you.
Okay, Puck. Have a good weekend. Go Cougs.
Go Cougs. We'll talk to you on Monday. See you, Jim.
All right, man. See ya.
There he is, Jim Moore, the go-to guy with us Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Again, brought to you by A Clean Streak. And we wrap up every week, every Friday, with Chris Egan, who's been hanging out in the back wondering, Jesus, man, can you guys shut up and get to me? Chris Egan is here, brought to you by Fat Zach's Pizza, 3 locations in Sumner, Puyallup, and South Hill, home of the original No Big Dill Pickle Pizza. There's going to be plenty of No Big Dill Pickle Pizzas this week down in the South End for Super Bowl parties, FatZachsPizza.com. Chris Egan, the Prince of Puyallup, the #1 sportscaster in all of the state of Western, Eastern, Central, North Central, Northwestern, Southwestern Washington. All of it. #1 guy. How are you?
Puck, for everybody listening and watching right now, I want to let you know, I'm going to get you in right now for a bet. I'm going to go with Travis Kelce's girlfriend. Her name is Taylor Swift. She's going to be wearing a red blouse with a black black mini skirt. She's going to have a Chiefs bomber jacket on the side. She'll be wearing 6 to 7 friendship bracelets. She'll have a vodka soda in her hand. You can get in right now at Chris Egan Super Bowl bets.
ChrisEganWins.com. Does it bother you? It bothers a lot of people when they show her. Does it bother you?
It doesn't bother me at all. It honestly doesn't. I enjoy it. It's funny at work because this is where the Super Bowl brings in everybody.
Yeah.
The Swifties will be watching. We'll have on Sunday. I'll be anchoring the least watched 5:00 news show in the history of television.
Why don't they just cancel it?
I've asked this question so many times. I feel like Puckett. This is like Groundhog's Day because I'm always working on Super Bowl Sunday. Unless you take the 2 times that the Seahawks were in New York and Arizona, I was at those games. But the last 25 years, I've been anchoring 23 of the 25 shows. And unless it's on NBC, I don't know why we do the newscast. I'll be honest with you. I never understand it. But the Swifties will be having a party at the station. They're excited to see who Taylor Swift's going to be sitting next to. That's one of our prop bets at King 5 TV. We also have, what is Kendrick Lamar's first song going to be? That's another prop bet that we're going to be watching.
Okay.
Which is the first commercial you'll see? Will it be a Doritos commercial or will it be a Bitcoin commercial? There's that going on.
Yeah, I haven't looked at this. Normally I would. Is there going to be a theme of this year's commercials that I need to be prepared for? Is it Bitcoin?
I don't know. There usually is a theme. Here's an interesting theme already leaking is Michelob Ultra is going with a pickleball theme.
Oh, I've seen it. I've already seen it. Yeah.
So they've got that, but there's rumors that there could be a couple more pickleball ads during the Super Bowl.
A lot of pickleball, huh?
So we'll see what happens there. So if that's a theme, I'll be all over that one.
Yeah, you will.
And Puckett, for everybody listening and watching, what we're talking about right now brings up a very important discussion that you need to have right now with your family and with your friends if you're going to be hosting a Super Bowl party. And I don't
some do's and don'ts is what you're saying.
Well, I don't say this lightly, Puckett, because you could have drama if you don't look ahead. Because there are people that want to go to the game, Troy Wins, Jim Moore, that are going to be focused on how many yards is Saquon Barkley running? Is Jalen Hurts hitting his 200 passing yards? They'll be dialed in. So you have your gamers, and then you have your socialites. So you need to right now make sure if you're hosting a party, you've got at least 3 TVs going. Maybe one in the garage, maybe the main living room. You set that as that's the socialite.
I agree.
Socialite area. And then maybe if you're lucky, you got another big room upstairs or downstairs. That's going to be maybe where you have your board, and that's where the football diehards are at, so they can just focus on the game, because you can't tell the socialites not to enjoy the commercials, not to get involved with Kendrick Lamar, not to be talking during the plays. And if you're hanging out with them, you're just going to get pissed off because they're talking. So don't. Let's break that up right now.
Yeah, because with the socialites, the game is going on, and then everyone's, the hens are chatting the whole time. And I'm trying to watch the game, and then when the second it goes to commercial, okay, shh, everyone be quiet.
Yeah.
Everyone be quiet.
Yep.
Shh.
And then
that's what drives me insane.
And then when the game gets going on,
can you believe she said that? And then this, let's go. All right, we'll be back. Time out on the field. We'll be back.
So separation there is the.
No, we lost Egan. We lost. Hold on. Yep. Get us back on. You got a phone call.
Getting a call.
Yeah, you gotta put it on silent. I tell you every time.
You know what, Puck? I feel like my dad and mom on these things. I really do. I need my kids here helping me through this stuff. So you have one main food area, and I want everybody listening right now to take advice from a major faux pas that the Egan family had at one of our Super Bowl parties. You need to put food out that is going to be able to hold 4 to 5 hours.
Good call.
4 to 5 hour hold. So, charcuterie boards,
that holds.
I think most of those hold when you're talking about meats and cheeses, when you're talking about dips. Well, the Egan family one year decided to have a big shrimp platter. Puckett, I can't make this up enough. And to this day, this was probably 12, 13 years ago. I'm not positive on the date. I still have to apologize to the Kersey family, to the Barrett family. I think the McGowan family was there. Somewhere along the day, they went in late to the shrimp. And the next Monday and Tuesday, all 3 families out of commission, throwing up.
Now, when we say how, but you know what? Hold on.
Yeah.
Okay, there's hold on. First of all,
it had to be something, Puckett. I think it was the shrimp.
Well, of course it was, Chris. but number one, there's an error on the Egan family for even providing shrimp or any seafood. No seafood.
No smoked salmon, even, you think?
Listen, I love smoked salmon. I just think that's not for everyone. It's out there, but okay, maybe you can get away with it.
Okay.
Maybe smoked salmon, yes. All right. Okay. But let's just steer clear from seafood. Okay, so that's an error on the Egan family. Error number 2, though, is on said families who decided 2 hours in, that shrimp's not on ice. Why not?
I mean, good point.
Come on. Sometimes, you know what I'm tired of, Chris? You are too. People need to start taking some personal responsibility.
Well, sure. Everybody wants to blame everybody else.
Everybody wants to blame everybody else.
Yeah, no, you're right. Everybody, it's like, hey, Phil, the old adage, like, it's not my fault. It's your. Nobody wants to admit it, like they did anything wrong anymore.
Exactly. So but
still,
families,
my warning is don't even provide it. Just don't even buy the shrimp platter. It may look good. It may be great for that first hour, but don't even throw it out there.
Just
you know what I'm talking about? That big Costco shrimp platter, the cocktail sauce. You didn't throw a little lot. I think the most underrated.
Hey, are those oyster shooters over there? Have they been sitting in the sun? Yeah, put them out on the table right now.
I'm going to tell you what, we've done some barbecue oysters at some Super Bowl parties as well, too. That's not bad. But
you got to have it right away. It can't be sitting around.
But sometimes people overthink this stuff too much. Yes. Just get the finger food. Get the chicken wings out there. Just tons of chicken wings. Don't overthink this. I love the 7-layer dip, but let's not spend all day putting that together if we can go get some chicken wings.
Okay, but I do love a 7-layer dip. And to the family that brings the carrots and the celery.
Not needed.
Because we need some healthy choices this Sunday. You're not fooling anyone, fat ass. All right, we're all gonna we're gonna get after it on Sunday, and we're gonna eat. We're gonna eat healthy. And we're going to drink unhealthy. We don't need the vegetables staring at us on the table going, well, you should have me instead of that 7-layer dip. Not today.
My sister, we know her, we love her. We call her Tupperware Jenny, brought a veggie tray once to her Super Bowl party.
Tupperware Jenny.
She brought a veggie tray, and I took it into the garage and left it there.
Just put it outside. She came in the house with the vegetable platter. You just took it out of her hands. You immediately got her bag that she brought and said, "Here, we'll put it back in the bag. This is your to-go bag on the way out."
Yeah, you take home your veggie tray. That's
good.
you got to bring that.
I don't want it.
100%. You don't need it. Don't bring it. This is a day to indulge. Don't throw it. Don't open up a hummus for Super Bowl party. Are you kidding me?
I love a good hummus. Who doesn't love a hummus?
Hummus on Monday. No hummus on Sunday.
Oh,
we don't need it. Just keep those little peas home.
And God, can I please go to a Super Bowl party that has the little Totino's pizza pocket things?
Oh yeah. God, why wouldn't you? And those hold.
Yeah. I mean, you're going to get 2 things. 1, it's going to hold. 2, you're going to burn the inside of your mouth.
Okay, here's a question for you. I sometimes feel like you get to a Super Bowl party, and I don't know, maybe 2 things in the world right now, Puck. Nobody wants to say they're ever wrong, and everybody just continues to bring too many chips to parties. I was at a station Super Bowl party with like 14 bags of chip, and I was the only one that brought a protein. And I'm like, could somebody – oh – by the way, big hit at last year's King 5 Super Bowl party. I brought a protein. I think I brought chicken, KFC, a bucket of chicken.
God,
here's one for you. Here's one for you, Puckett. I stopped in the Soto at the Jack in the Box. Nobody was in line, and I said, 30 tacos, please.
Oh, and I love their tacos.
They absolutely loved me at work. $15, 30 tacos, and I was the head of the Super Bowl party because I was the only one bringing proteins and some food, and everybody else had chips, and we had some hummus and veggies at the King 5 party. The Swifties brought that, and it was awful.
Yeah. You should not work. Whoever's making the decision over there on Sunday, we don't need a 5 o'clock newscast.
No, I mean, what am I going to air? Like what
are you going to air? You can't even air highlights of the game.
No, you can't. You can't air highlights of the game. I'm going to have to find.
Here's our King 5 prep zone story of the night.
All right.
Hey,
Can we do 3 minutes on the Wazoo women taking on Gonzaga?
Hey, I got one for you. I know what you're
yeah.
gonna do. Slip this in. Let's get some cameras out there tonight at West Seattle High School. Tonight is the Metro Championships for gymnastics.
Hey, there you go.
And a heavy betting favorite are the ladies from Ballard High School and the Ballard Beavers.
The Ballard Beavers.
Who will no doubt clinch another Metro Championship tonight. Be nice to have maybe a camera out there capturing that.
Well, also, it's interesting talking. You mentioned gymnastics in town tonight. A young lady by the name of Jordan Childs. She'll be competing at the University of Washington tonight. So
great.
heavy gymnastics, and then you have these state bowling championships going on this week.
You just had a story on the young lady, correct?
Tamia Yeager going to Vanderbilt on a full scholarship.
Full ride.
Can you believe that?
God,
for bowling?
Great.
For how many baseball parents out there are dropping like 6 figures for their kid to go to like all these academies and stuff, and they're literally like, how many mom and dads are watching that bowling story? Like, I think we dropped 100,000 on little Billy, and he's gonna maybe be able to get 1/15 of a scholarship. And little Tamia's.
We could have been at a bowling alley eating nachos and watching our son or daughter bowl.
Yeah, little Tamia's at Paradise Lanes, and she's getting a full ride to Vandy.
That's a great story.
Yeah, no, it was good for her, and actually, just a great gal, and I'm excited for her. She's going to go there and probably win some national titles, and it's going to be fun. I am bummed, Puckett. For Mike Holmgren.
Terrible.
And I want to share one of my favorite Mike Holmgren stories on this podcast.
Please do.
You remember when Joe Montana had a son playing at the University of Washington?
Yeah, I remember. Okay. I remember when he was playing for the California high school, and didn't he come up here on a chopper to go play Skyline?
Skyline, and I think you had Will Smith's kid on that team as well. It was a media circus at Skyline, the Chateau on the Plateau, and Will Smith and Joe Montana gave no interviews that night, and then. I think it was Nick. Correct me if I'm wrong on his son's name, but I think it was Nick Montana.
I believe so. Yeah.
Comes to the UW, and Joe was on the sidelines, and everybody's there. You know, you got the Channel 7, 4, 5, Q13, maybe Root Sports. Everybody's down there trying to get an interview with Joe Montana. I think Como goes first, and I can't remember who it was, and Joe shakes his head. Cairo goes up to Joe. He shakes his head no. Root Sports goes up to Joe, shakes his head no. Q13 goes up to Joe, shakes his head no. So Alan Reed, the late great Alan Reed, says, "You gonna try, Egan?" And I go, "Yeah, why wouldn't we?" So this is when we're the home of the Seahawks now, but when we were originally the home of the Seahawks, we had the Mike Holmgren show. So I go up to Joe, and he goes, "Hey, I appreciate you coming up. I'm not doing interviews." I go, "Joe, I don't really want to ask you about your kid. We have a show called the Mike Holmgren Show. Do you mind giving us a couple sound bites about Mike?" And he goes, "Well, yeah, I'll do that. That would be fun." So literally, it was awesome because I have all the media from the other stations now watching me interview Joe Montana, and they are just steaming mad. So so that's on a Saturday, Puck. Monday, we have not aired this interview with Joe Montana. We're going to save it for our Mike Holmgren show. I don't know how he got word, but I'm out at the VMAC, and all of a sudden I'm on the sidelines and I hear Mike Holmgren go, "Egan, come here," and I'm like, "Is he talking to me?" And I like literally, because I've never had a head professional NFL coach like have you go past the cement area onto the field.
Yeah.
And so I don't move. I'm still like, "Nah, you can't be talking about it." He's like, "Egan." And Dave Pearson gives me that look like, public relations director of the Seahawks, like, "What the hell did you do?" And I'm like, "Oh my God." I've never been more nervous in my life, Puck. Like, I'm freaking out because I'm like, we're home with the Seahawks. Did I say something on Puckett's show about Holmgren? What did I do? I'm like, I am close to peeing my pants.
He's very intimidating.
And Holmgren, just a large man. So I go out in the middle of the field, and he's looking at me, and he's like, "Hey." I go, yeah. He goes, "Hey, heard you talk to Joe Montana." And I go, Yeah. I did. And I'm like, yeah, I did for your show. He goes, well, what did he say about me? So
He's the best. He's the best.
I love Mike Holmgren. I think it's just bad, and I'm just worried because now you got Belichick and his hot new girlfriend. They'll be getting in the Hall of Fame. I mean, but I just don't get it. I don't know if it's his shot that he took at the refs, if it's what happened in Cleveland. But you have to look at what he did in Green Bay and Seattle, and I just don't know why he's not in.
Maybe it is. I thought a lot about that. Maybe it is something about the refs.
You remember how publicly that was?
Yeah,
Puck?
he really aired out the league. He really aired him out, and I don't know. Maybe that's what's holding the whole thing up. I don't know.
That's the only That's the only thing I could think of there, and it doesn't make sense to me when you look at his resume and you look at other resumes. It's just stupid, honestly. It really
just holds up, and it's what he's accomplished at 2 stops.
Yeah,
I would not hold Cleveland against him. All the quarterbacks and players that he's coached over the years, and his time as a coordinator, it's unmatched.
Sterling Sharp getting in, I think that's good news. I think that's good news though for Earl Thomas is out there that didn't have that long career, but they were the best, for that, because Sterling didn't have a long career, but he was very good when he was playing, and Earl Thomas was the best safety of all time when he was playing and didn't have that long career. So I think that's a good sign for some Seahawks like Earl, Cam Chancellor. So who knows? But just a big bummer last night.
Absolutely.
I was nervous that he wasn't there. I'm like, he probably knows. So yeah.
What about Gary says? What about the deviled eggs? When do the deviled eggs come out? Because I'll be honest with you, I like a good deviled egg.
Gary, that's a great question. And do you put a little of that paprika on top of the deviled eggs? That little red stuff you put on there. I think it adds a little flavor. I'm a fan of a deviled egg, Gary, but I think
not everybody is.
I think once you get past an hour, need to remove them. I
agree. I'm going to tell you, and Charles, I'm doing this, and I think because this actually, I spend $100. I'm going to get a lot. I'm going to get a lot of bang for my buck.
What are you going with?
Not the Costco 3-foot sub, but what I'm thinking of here.
But
Charles,
hold on. Costco, by the way, I'm going to let you finish, but they do have a new meatball sub that they've just put into their little deli of fun, where they got the salads and the chili.
I like their deli of fun
and the pinwheels. They've just added a meatball sub that even my wife, who has banned me from meatball subs, she said, "Oh, that may be kind of fun to bring."
What about this? If I come to the party with this,
okay,
I spend $100.
$100
on just the hot dogs.
Oh my God, Puckett! That's genius.
Who wouldn't love? Oh my! Did you just come to the party with Costco hot dogs?
100.
You damn right I did.
That is genius. Now, just leave the.
I got to call ahead. I got to call ahead.
Yeah, you might, because they got to wrap them individually.
Yeah, I want them wrapped individually.
Yeah. Oh,
don't get the Cokes. It's fine.
No, you don't need the Cokes. Just you got to keep. Yeah. Oh, I think that's genius. Yeah. And that's genius. And then what are you going to just bring? I would say just bring get the 4-pack, the 2 ketchups, a relish, and a mustard. I love that 4-pack because I'm always like, I only need 1 ketchup. You're getting a bonus ketchup.
I'm gonna bring the whole area where you put your condiments on, complete with the backup of the 10-person backup, where everyone takes them an hour to put on the damn condiments.
You know what I miss at Costco's? The onion turner. I love that little onion turner. Bring back the onion turner and bring back the sauerkraut. Come on.
Yeah, why'd we get rid of the sauerkraut?
I don't know why the sauerkraut went away.
Left out too long, that's why.
Somebody complained, but Puckett, I think that is genius. You do want to go to a party, sure, you need the guy or gal that's going to bring the 7-layer dip, but is anybody going to be like, hey,
Costco hot dogs? I'm going to do it.
Costco hot dogs. Well, look what was the big hit at the King 5 party last year. The Jack in the Box tacos.
Yeah. And Little Smokies. Somebody brought up Little Smokies earlier. I love Little Smokies.
Little Smokies are great. Meatballs are great. I think you can't go wrong with either. I think you need those proteins.
Yeah, I'm with you.
you're not going to walk out of there as the star, as the MVP, but you are needed. You are needed for that party. We need a meatball person, 100%.
Thanks, Nick. Yeah, Nick says in the chat, fill up your cooler with those hot dogs. Keep them warm, a little sweaty. Yeah, but
I think they're going to be fine. Yeah. I mean, and you can't go wrong with a Costco pizza. You can bring 3 or 4 of those.
Yeah,
you're not spending a bunch, but
that's true. But those hot dogs.
Good question. The dessert bar. I feel like desserts kind of get. I don't.
No one really
brings
them.
Yeah, it's usually like a brownie, like a football decorated brownie. But I
kind of want a dessert bar.
Yeah. I mean, why wouldn't you want a nice dessert bar? And I feel like sometimes that gets left out at Super Bowl parties.
Hey, I know the perfect dessert bar. I mean, that old crumble cookie.
You know what?
Show up to a Super Bowl party with a batch of those damn things.
Okay, Costco hot dogs
and crumble
cookies,
and just
Jack in the Box tacos.
And
I bring that, and then we're surrounded with the meatballs, the charcuterie board, and the chicken wings, and the
Here's
chips
what I'm going to do.
And the dip. Yeah.
I'm going to walk into the party with the Costco hot dogs and the crumble cookie. I'm going to set them down, and I'm going to look at all the hens. I'm going to say, listen, look what I brought for you. This is all for you. Shut the hell up during the game.
Yeah.
Okay? You want to talk during the commercials. Just not during the game. That's it.
And Puckett, a couple things you could have fun with your parties. I don't know how close you are with your parties, but if you're against the Taylor Swift, here's the deal. You're going to see her. So you could go a couple routes here with this. You could take a shot. You could take a shot every time you see Taylor Swift.
You
could take off a piece of clothing every time you see Taylor Swift.
I'm not sure I want to see that. Not at this party.
Or you can add a piece of clothing every time you see Taylor Swift.
Can you just put on more clothing? Am I covering up your whole face?
Oh, Lord.
Maybe just a shot.
I think just a shot.
And then here's another one, Puck. If you're going to a party, do you bring your own alcohol, or are you kind of hoping that they have everything for you?
I think you got to show up with something.
I think you got to bring a cooler. Yeah.
Show up with something. So
even if they don't, you need to bring a cooler of something. You got to show. Yeah,
I agree. More Olympics. I've seen you. Let's wrap it up. We got Olympics again.
Well, Puckett, we are 1 year out.
God.
1 year out. To the Milan Cortina Olympics. Only 1 year away. It's the Winter Olympics. Paris, huge success. Ratings were through the roof. I think this is going to be very, very similar. I think numbers will be even higher in the Pacific Northwest because it's the Winter Games. There's less to do as somebody. Pacific Northwest, when you're in July, when the summer games are going on, most people are outside. Winter Olympics usually have pretty good ratings, and I think NBC figured it out with the Gold Zone, with the streaming. They did more live events, and I think what happened in Paris, I think we'll see again, is that people just enjoyed, seeing these venues next to the Eiffel Tower, the Arc de Triomphe, and I think you're going to see that in Milan Cortina.
Yeah,
a lot
beautiful.
of just beautiful country. Yours truly hoping to be there as well. And once again, the great state of Washington, Puck. We could go back to 1994 when a young man from Tacoma, Washington, by the name of Casey Boudier began the speed skating run, and it was Casey first. And then we met a young man by the name of Apollo Anton Ono, who took the world by storm.
The best.
And then J.R. Selsky, Aaron Tran. There has been a figure skater from the state of Washington, a short track figure skater, Puck, or long track, from the state of Washington, every Olympics since 1994. This year we have 4 from this area. So it's going to be fun there. We have 3 downhill skiers. We have 5 curlers, Puckett, 5 possible curlers from the Granite Curling Club that have trained there. One of them is on Team Schuster, which is America's #1 team.
Is that the one up in Shoreline?
Yeah, that's the one up in Shore. It's always throws me off because their address is Seattle, but it's Shoreline. I don't.
Well, I don't know. It's 130th, right?
Yeah, I mean their address is Seattle, but I feel like we're in Shoreline when we're there. We'll have Kraken players, professional hockey players, will be in the Olympics for the first time since 2014. So look out for your favorite player, Capo Caco and Team Finland.
Nice.
So they'll be competing. We have a cross country skier from Winthrop, Washington, from Liberty Bell High School. Her name is Novi McCabe. So it's going to be fun. We're a year away, but a lot of work to do at King 5 to get ready for that. So,
wow, that's going to be a blast. That's going to be fun. That is going to be fun. All right, enjoy your Super Bowl party at work.
Hey, thank you, everybody. No shrimp.
No shrimp.
No shrimp.
Just no seafood. Just don't do it. Costco hot dogs.
Costco hot dogs is the way to go. Mel, what are we bringing? What are we bringing? What would you go with, Mel? Asking my wife.
She's bringing white wine is what she's bringing.
Huh? She's like a meatball sandwich bucket.
Hey, you've turned her.
I love her. I really do. Yeah.
All right. We'll see you next week.
All right, buddy. Have a good one.
Yep, there he is. Chris Egan, King 5 News, every single Friday with us as we wrap up the Daily Puck Drop every Friday with the great Egan. And just because, you know what? You got to go to the weekend with laughter there with Egan. Again, all brought to you by Fat Zach's Pizza. Thank you so much to Fat Zach's for almost the past year. I mean, opening day is a year that we've been doing this, by the way. So, when is opening day? March 28th, 27th? Close to a year. Unbelievable. 3 locations in Sumner, Puam, South Hill, home of the original No Big Dill Pickle Pizza. Book one of the 3 food trucks for catering, birthday parties, graduations, corporate events. Find Fat Zach's Pizza on Facebook and Instagram at fatzachspizza.com. All right, we wrap up the show with Hey, What the Puck, brought to you by Restoration One of North Seattle. It is your restoration company that lets you avoid the stress of water, fire, and mold damage with their property restoration services. Locally owned and operated. Make them your first call when damages affect your residential or commercial property. 206-817-8917. Visit them online at restoration1.com. North Seattle franchise. Real quick, thank you to all those who have reached out. I just told you, you can go back and listen to Wednesday's show. I'm not going to rehash it here. The next few Thursdays, 3 weeks or 4 weeks, we won't have any live shows on Thursdays, and just dealing with our dog, traveling over to Pullman and all that as she undergoes radiation treatment. But thank you for all the messages from people out there. Really do appreciate it. All right, the Hey, What the Puck. We talked about at the beginning of the show. We'll just wrap it up here with Mike Holmgren. I don't know what he did. I don't know if there's some vendetta against him or something that is preventing him from going into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. But as we talked about with Garafolo earlier, you know, you can't tell the story of the National Football League without mentioning Mike Holmgren. And for whatever reason, something that maybe we don't know, there's just something getting in the way from his election into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. And, you know, he'll put on a brave face and a voice. But trust me that it hurts him that he has at this point yet to get in. I mean, it hurts probably his wife and his children, his daughters more, and his grandkids. But it does hurt him because you are being recognized, by your peers, by the league, and it's an amazing accomplishment. Amazing accomplishment to be a semifinalist or to be a finalist, but you want to get in that club to be recognized as one of the very best, and he is one of the very best to ever do it. His numbers, his resume, all stack up against people. In fact, his resume is better than Dick Vermeil. His resume is better than Bill Cowher. And it's really sad and unfortunate that he's yet to get in. And I think it's sad and unfortunate in this day and age that we just don't have things made public. I think your vote should be made public. I think if you can't stand up and explain why you voted this way, then shame on you. I like what the Associated Press or the AP for their NFL MVP award, they made them public. Now, when I saw the list of people that are voters, it really makes me wonder how some of these people get votes. It really, there's a list of people that you look and you go, I don't get it. How do you have a vote? But at least they made it public. And I think with the Hall of Fame, it should be made public as well. I think you should need to have to explain yourself of why you decided to not vote for that person. Unfortunately, it would spark backlash and real anger from some. But you are entrusted with a very important vote. And I think with that bears a large responsibility. And it's unfortunate. it should not take away from what Mike has accomplished in his career, because he is truly one of the best people I've ever met, but also one of the best people the NFL has ever had in terms of being a coach, a mentor, a teacher in that league, and the success that he brought back to Green Bay, Vince Lombardi, and brought to Seattle. I mean, he changed those two franchises, changed them forever. And that alone should probably get him in. All right, that's it for Hey, What the Puck. Again, brought to you by Restoration One of North Seattle, your restoration company that lets you avoid the stress of water, fire, and mold damage with their property restoration services. Give them a call. Ask for Trent. He's going to take care of you. 206-817-8917. Visit them online at restoration1.com, North Seattle franchise. Big thanks to all of our guests today. Jim Moore for stopping on by. Mike Garafolo from New Orleans. First time he had talked to Jim since we left radio. Troy Wins handicapping. All of the action coming up on Sunday. And, of course, Chris Egan. Everything will be up on YouTube later. When you're there, please subscribe. Pass it along to family and friends. Also, the entire show on the podcast platforms, Apple, Spotify, wherever you find your podcasts, up at those platforms. Just search Puck Sports. Also, visit pucksports.com. I encourage you to join, sign up to be a Pucks Posse member. Get all of this content that we're doing every single day. In addition to that, also bonus content like Ryan Divish and other content that we're putting up there as well. Starting in a couple weeks, you'll have Dane Brugler breaking down the NFL draft for Pucks Posse members, one of the best in the business doing so, and just the overall support of Puck Sports and pucksports.com. Everybody enjoy your Super Bowl weekend. Have fun. Live it up. And we'll talk to you on Monday, and we'll recap everything on a Monday. The Ground Puck Seahawks podcast, our final show with Tim and Curtis coming up on Monday. Jim will be back, and hopefully we're talking about a great game. Enjoy yourselves. We'll talk to you on Monday. As always, promise to be better.
No shoes, no dice.
Would anybody like to smoke some pot?
Yeah.
I was born to love you. I was born to lick your face. I was born to rub you. But you were born to rub me first.
What do you need my address for?
We'd like to send out a mailer.
Mother of mercy, I don't speak Japanese!